So that is what we are calling as a role of the consultant. See here. Is my screen has been shared with the screen, Kevin?
Yeah, right now I see the desktop.
That's good. See here. So on SAP, right now as an employee, there is a two types of the roles will be there. One is into the end user. One is into the end user level, and the second one, which is called as a name consultant role. Second one is a consultant. So what it mean by the end user in the sense of whoever the person wants to use the package. That means whatever the business organization is there, and that business organization persons which we are calling as an end user. So as yesterday which we said that Unilever is a user. That means Unilever is in a business organization which they wants to make their organizational transactions into the SAP. And consultant. So whatever the Unilever persons which is required, or else what they are having the requirements, as per the requirements, whoever the persons are going to make the customizing of the standard SAP, he is called as a consultant. It would be called as a consultant. That means, as a study which we said that one IT company would be there, that is called as a consultant. And user is responsible to make the day-to-day activities, day-to-day recurring activities. And the consultant is to responsible for making the customization or else the implementation. Customization or implementation. So under this customization or the implementation, whatever the customization or implementation will be happening, thus customization and implementation will be happens by through a proper manner will be there. That proper manner which we is called as a name, which we are calling as a name ASAP methodology. That manner which we are calling as a name in the proper way, which is called as an ASAP methodology. So that it mean by that accelerated SAPing. Accelerated SAP. So the total implementation will be happening in a proper manner, which is called as an accelerated SAP. Under this accelerated SAPing, totally we have the 5 levels or 5 phases. Under this, totally we are having the 5 levels or the 5 phases. That means 5 roles and responsibilities will be there. There, the first one, which is called as a project preparation. The first one, which we are calling as a project preparation. So, as which we said that Unilever wants to make their organization into the computerized. That's why they made the contract with the our IT company. So, first of all, we have to make the contracts with the terms and conditions. So, how much time it will be takes to complete the whole project, and how many years of the maintenance we are giving there for them, and how much of the payment we have to pay, and how much when it has to be paid, and all the initial planning and high-level management. Whatever the initial planning and high-level management activities would be there, that all the things can be handled by through this project preparation phase. Excuse me. Sorry, that everything can be done by through this project preparation phase. And whenever the project preparation was done, in the second level, which we are calling it as a business blueprint, which it will be called as a business blueprint. So what it mean by that? business blueprint, as which we said that whenever the client is there, what we have to do that we need to analyze the client's business organization and collect their requirements. So that is the second level, which is called as a business blueprint. So simply, which we can say that what is the project preparation in the sense of it is nothing but like contracts with the clients, and a business blueprint in the sense of analyzing and collect the requirements and prepare the docs, prepare the documents. That is what we are calling as a business blueprint. And whenever the blueprint has been came, that means the requirements was came. In the third level, which we are calling as a realization. So what it mean by the realization in the sense of whatever the client has been given or we have been analyzed in the second level, the client requirement. In the second level, the client requirement. For those of the requirements, we have to make it into the SAP. That means the customization and the implementation, which will be happening in the level of third level, which is called as a realization. And whenever the realization was done, in the fourth level, which we are calling as a final preparation. So it was nothing but like any testing and as well as the training to the users. And at last, we'll go for go live and support. So live environment and as well as the maintenance. So this is the 5 levels which we are having under the SAP methodology. By using of this SAP methodology, the total implementation process will be going to be happens. Yeah, Mr. Kevin, is it clear? What is the SAP methodology?
Yes.
That's great. Now, as in this way, now we are into the one IT company, as which we said that. And we got the project from the some XYZ group of the companies. Now, as in that way, whatever they have given the requirements and how we have to make it into the SAP. How we have to make it into the SAP. How we have to make it into the SAP. So, in that way, this is the PC which has been allocated for Mr. Kevin. So, for example, now Mr. Kevin is into the IT company, and myself is a client. And I made a contract with yours. That means, as which we said that the project preparation phase was completed. So in the graphical representation also, which I am showing here, the project preparation was done. And after that, your people is coming to us and they are going to be collect the requirements also. And Mr. Kevin is there as a consultant in the realization phase. So what he has to do that he has to be customize the applications of the SAP as per my requirements. That means under the floor of the IT company, Mr. Kevin, this PC has been allocated and he used to start the work. Whenever he used to start the work, first of all, he has to know that how to enter on SAP. So that means he wants to know that whenever he wants to start the work, whatever the work which we have to do, how to do, that's the next second. First of all, that person has to know that how to make the accessibility of the SAP first of all. For that, what we have to do that? just make a double click on SAP logon under the desktop. Whenever one PC has been connected with the server of the SAP, there should be a SAP logon should becomes here like this. If you can see here, SAP logon. And what I'm going to say that just make it a double click on this one. Fine. Whenever I'm double clicking on the SAP logon, another window has been came, SAP authorized. Here it is. And there was a multiple of the servers has been connected with my system. Now, as a consultant, Mr. Kevin has to be work with the server like this one, and then log on. Then log on. That means here select our server and then click on log on. So after entering onto the logon, that means simply which we can say that our server selection was done, whatever there is a multiple of the servers has been connected into this PC, and as a consultant, which PC I need to connect, that has been connected, and whenever I have been entered here, it's asking about what is the client. So in the first point, what is a server which you have chosen? Under that server, there is a lot of the teams will be there. Mr. Kevin and Kiran and Teja and all those are into the finance team. As like as HR team also is there. As like as MM team also is there. There was a multiple of the teams also would be there. So as in that way, which one we have to. So what is the team of ours? So the first one is the server, and the second one is the team selection. First, I made the server selection. It was clear for me. And now I'm going to make the team selection. So what is my team ID or what is my team number? So here, which I am using that my team number is an 800. So that means 800 is an FICO team. But can't we set that every time it should be the same? But through the project by project, it will be changes. For this project, for my system, which I made this one. And what would be the user ID? Under that, what would be your user ID? Let me take it as Kevin, say for example. So under the FICO team, this is my user ID. And for my user ID, this is the authorization. What would be the password? So the password which we can make it as a name. As per the admin department has been given that SAP FICO double line. And there which we can use the language. English, and then press enter. So first of all, I have to make the neural SAP. Further double click on SAP logon. And what would be the user ID? And what would be the password? And then language. Done. Just a second. Done. So I got the authorization to enter onto the SAP. I have been entered my login details, credentials, and whenever as a consultant, when I have entered onto the SAP, I got the one screen. I have been entered into the screen, and this is a screen which we are calling as a GUI. This is what we're calling as a GUI. It means by that graphical user interface. What it mean by that? It is a graphical user interface, GUI, or else simply which we can call it as a user interface, UI. So what exactly it mean by that GUI in the sense of it is nothing but a end user screen. There is nothing but an end user screen. That means after making the customization, whatever the things has been given to them to work on the user accessible is not a user.
No, I'm the consultant.
Hello? Yeah, fine. So as an client, Mr. Kevin has to be make the customization. So as a consultant, whenever he wants to make the customization, he is not using this GUI. He wants to use the another screen, which is called as a customizing screen. That screen name itself, which is called as an IMG, which is called as an IMG, which it means by that implementation guide. Implementation guide screen. Implementation guide screen. IMG. Implementation guide screen. So in the initial stage, whenever as a user we have been logged in, initially we got the GUI. That is called as a user interface. But being as a consultant, I need to work with the IMG. That is what we are calling as an implementation guide. But when I'm logging in, when I logged in, it was showing the user interface. But I need to make my work starting with the IMG. So we have a way. There should be some way to move from the IMG to GUI. There should be some way will be there to move from the GUI to IMG. GUI to IMG. So here, when you can observe here in the top of the left-hand side, there was a cursor was blinking there. That is called as a command field, or else which we are calling it as a command bar. Command bar. So under that command bar, we have to use the course. That means whatever the options which we need to get and everything can be happened by through that one. So here, which I am giving that SPRO. So it means by that SAP Project Reference Object. What I mean by that SAP Project Reference Object. And what is the purpose of this 4 letters of the SPRO? And in the sense of it is a transaction code. It's a transaction code to move from GUI to IMG. Why? Because whenever we have been entered initially, it was showing the GUI. But I am not a user, I don't want to use the GUI. I am a consultant. So being as a consultant, whenever I want to use with my consultant screen of the IMG to move the particular screen of the IMG from the GUI to IMG, we are using a code which is the standard one through the universal That was the name SPRO, SAP Project Reference Object. It is a transaction code which is used to move from GUI to IMG. So let's have a look here, which I'm using that SPRO. You're in the cursor command field, SPRO. After the just press enter, from the GUI or the easy access screen, I'm directly moving on to the IMG. Sure, display IMG. That is what. So what exactly by the SPRO in the sense of it is a code which is used to move from GUI to IMG. And maybe if I am into your level, I had another dot also. Okay, boss. Here, which I used the capital letters. Is there any mandatory thing that always the transaction code should be into the caps itself? No. Throughout the SAP, not only for the transaction code. For anything, it's not a case sensitive. SAP is not a case sensitive. Either we can use the caps or smalls or vex or anything. There is not a problem at all. See here. Again, I'm into the user level. And when I'm moving there, SPRO. And just press enter. Done. Like this. Okay, boss. From the GUI to IMG, whenever we want to move that, that is a SPRO. That will be fine. And now I am into the IMG. I want to come back to the GUI. That means, as which we said that, moving from IMG to GUI, come back. For that which we are using the /n, which will be the to move from IMG to GUI, which we are calling as a name, to move from IMG to GUI, here to there, there to here. Let's check it out. /n, and then enter. This is the enter symbol using with the mouse. We can, or else directly we can use a enter symbol also. Got it. SPRO is to GUI to IMG, and /n is to IMG to GUI. /n is to IMG to GUI. And as like as, whenever as a consultant or a user, when I'm working with the one session or one screen is there which I'm working, but I don't want to stop the screen and I want to take the another one. In generally, in the Google Chrome, we are using the multiple of the tab screens. As like as, in SAP also, if we want to take the multiple of the tab screens, which we can use the /o to create a new session. So here, which I am having only one session here on SAP, only one thing is there. So if we want to take the one more, if we want to take the another one, without of disturbing of the screen, whatever the work which we are doing, and directly we can use the /move and then enter, and there we'll go for generate. Another session was generated. So as in this way, how many sessions we can able to create? So the maximum number of the sessions we can take from here, that's the 6. That means from one user ID, we can take the max of 6 sessions. Max of 6 sessions. And as well as, okay, boss, For opening of the new session or a new screen, we can use the /O. That should be good. How to make the closing of that one or any session? /I to close the current session. That means under which session you are using the /I, that session will be closed the to close the session. So Mr. Kevin, up to here, it is any confusion? Is it clear?
I'm good so far.
That's great. And the next things after this, we have to know about some of the shortcuts which has to be especially made for SAP. Instead of using with the mouse, we can use into the keyboard using by some of the functional keys. And every keyboard which can have these of the functional keys, which is from F1 to F12, F1 to F12. And here also in SAP, what they had done that for each and every functional key, there should be some specifications would be there. I think some uses would be there. As in that way, which we can use that F1 is for help. So for example, if you place the cursor in anywhere and you don't know what it is and what to do, or else you want that notes what it is be exactly. So place the cursor on there and just click on the F1. See, now my cursor position is into the command field. And I want to clearly know about of that one. What is that? Just click on the F1. It will be shows that what it is. It is in a command bar or a command field. So you can execute any of the following commands or the transaction codes by using on this command field. This is especially made for so and so. That is going to help you. As in that way, F2 is for double click. That means throughout the SAP, whenever you want to make the double click, by moving the tab, you can place the position onto that place and you can use the F2 instead of the mouse. Automatically, it will be going to be processed. F2 is for double click. As in that way, F3. F3 is into the come back one step. Can't we set that exit? Can't we set that exit? So for example, if I am in the position of the D now, how I have been came into the D, A to B, B to C, C to D. Now I am into the D. And what I'm going to say that I want to come back to the C. Now I can use the F3. Again, from the C to B, F3. From the B to A, F3. That is what we are calling as a functional keys. That's what we are calling as a functional key of the F3. Come back one step. Come back one step. And as well as the next one is the F4. So generally, when we are customizing of the any application, say for example, if there is a country field is there. One field is named with the country. Under that country, I need to give the client country as a Netherlands. But I don't know what is the name which we have to propose under that Netherlands. Why? Because for the Indian, it was an IN, US, UK. As like as for the Netherlands, what we have to give that. So in the field, there is one button will be shown that for opening of that button, which we can directly use with call with the F4. So simply, which we can say that to open the possible entries button. To open the possible entries button. So let's have a look. I will show you that one, how it would be. So for example, if I am in one screen, and there, which I am going to create the company code for the client. Here in the country, if you can observe that there is a button will be shown here, this one. For opening of that one, by using the mouse, we can click on that one. But instead of the mouse, we are using these things. By F4, it will be shows that whatever the SAP system can be able to work with all the countries, list will be shown here. A list of the countries. Like this. As in that way, wherever the cursor was there, and you want to open that button, which we can use the F4. F4 is used to open the possible interest button. As in that way, F5. In general, MS Word or anywhere, wherever we want to create the new file, in general, which we are using the Control N. As like as the Control N, here in that SAP, which we are using the F5, which is called as a new entries. New entries. So for example, if I am in the screen as which we said that I want to create the one company code, I need to click on the mouse with this button. But instead of that, using with the mouse directly, we can use the F5 to make the new entries. F5 is used to make the new entries. And as like is F6 is to copy, Control C. And then F7 will go for select all. So for example, I want to select all these things and I want to delete all these things. Unfortunately, some mistake was happened. So a list of the ledgers will be there. I want to remove all these things. Then I can choose for individually by like this, one by one, one by one. But instead of that, whenever you want to select the all, you just make it as an F7. It was going to be select all. It was going to be select all. And else no boss, I don't want to select all. I want to select a particular thing. Select a single. Sure, I don't want to select all these things. I want to select only one thing, which is IDS Japan, and that named itself as an 010110, and my cursor position was there. I want to select that particular line. Then we can use the F8 like this. F7 is for the select all. F8 is for a single selection, and F9 is for deselect. That means remove the selection. Remove the selection. See, it has been selected. Now I'm going to the F9. It has been deselected. That means remove the things whatever we have selected. Remove the things whatever we have selected.
I have a question.
Please, Mr. Kevin, please.
So if I select all and hit delete, would I be able to do F3 if I made a mistake?
Yes, you can. See, it is an F8. Okay. And you want to come back from here. F3. You can. So F3 is not for the process. So I think so what your question is, I have selected some of the thing here, but as some X, I have selected the some X, but I want to select the Y, not the X. So if I can use the F3, it will remove the selection? No. Why? Because F3 is not for comeback of the process, like as a control jet. F3 is in a moving authority, moving from here to there, there to here, like that it would be. But it's not in a control Z, as an undo. Okay, Mr. Kevin, is clear?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, please. See, here what you're asking that F8 is for this selection, no? Okay, you can select like this, F8. And if you don't want the selection of this one, if you don't want to selection of this one, you want to remove that. You want to remove that. So what you have to do that, you should go for the remove the selection is from F9, but not by through the F3. F3 is true for the process. See, for example, say for example, SPRO, enter, and then SAP reference IMG. So I'm here. Now I want to come back one step. That means whatever I am moving to A to B, B to C, C to D, or D to E, from there, which I want to come back, I can use this button, or else by through the F3, like this. And what you are confusing into the, which you will be confused into the F8. F8 is for single selection like this. Single selection of like this. And whenever we want to remove the selection or deselect, we can use the F9. We can use the F9, like in this way. Yeah, Mr. Kevin, is it clear?
Yes.
Done. And as well as F10, it was into the menu bar. And then F11, save. F12, quit or exit. Quit or exit. So these are the keys which we are using as a consultant. Whenever we want to make as a perfect consultant, first of all, we have to know about of all these of the functional keys and how to make the uses of those. How to make the uses of those things. Right, Mr. Kevin?
Yes.
This is what the functional keys. When we are into the working, we have to make the clear things about of those. And whatever, as which I said that, whatever I'm going to make the typing here day to day, I will send it to your mail ID. So for that, can you please text me your mail ID into the chat box, please?
My what ID?
Yes, that's what actually.
Which ID? Oh, you said email?
Email. I want your email ID.
And where do I put it? Where do you want me to put it?
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay.